to the Veterans Advisory Committee. We'll go ahead and open this up. First time we have met in person ever.
Yes.
Pretty big deal for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to start off by introducing Mike, a new member. Want to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, wow.
We did
Okay.
that already. You're on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we weren't
Oh, you weren't
recording.
recording.
Yeah. Just wanna start off the meeting and have him introduce himself to everybody.
All right, 20 years retired military, retired as an E6. What else? Mostly in logistics field.
Nice.
Then I became a Department of the Army civilian at Natick Army Research Labs. Now I'm working as a program manager for the YouTube program for Collins. Well, it's now Raytheon. We just switched to Raytheon in July. So Raytheon got a few master's degrees. So anyway, that's a little about me.
All right. So Army, you said?
Army, 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, I did logistics with the Air Force,
Okay.
aircraft maintenance.
Okay.
So, and then Lucas actually just got a job at Native Labs about a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
He moved from the VA, so
Okay.
small world.
It is. That is.
All right, we'll start off by looking at last meeting's minutes. I'm all thrown off now because we're in person. I don't have my computer in front of me. Any problems with the minutes as written? No?
I got it right for once. Good.
Everything okay, Bob?
I'm gonna see. I didn't hear much of it, but what I heard, it looks okay.
Yeah.
Somebody walking by.
Okay. So then can I get a motion to accept the minutes as written?
Move to accept the minutes as written.
Second?
Second. All right. Do a roll call vote to approve the minutes. Mike?
Hey.
Andy?
Aye.
Holly?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Justin is aye. Minutes are approved as written. And I just realized I didn't do roll call. Do I need to do that?
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah, okay. I got so thrown off. We're gonna start off with, we'll do roll call before we move on to the rest of the agenda. Mike?
Here.
Andy?
Yeah.
Bob?
Here?
Holly?
Present.
Sean?
Here.
Justin is here. Lucas and Mateo, one of our new members, they are both absent, but they let me know beforehand that they would not be able to make it today. So now we'll jump into the agenda. First thing is funding. Bob, we talked during last time, so we know that we have money. It's really just kind of going about how do we spend it.
So I went and spoke to the financial director, Mary, and if we purchase, for example, the flagpoles, we would have to get the invoice from the vendor, and there was a document that we would have to prepare. I have the document, and once we fill out the document and connect it to the invoice, we send it up the chain for payment. She showed me the account number that the money is under Veterans Advisory, and she confirmed that it's $2,000. But when she looked it up into the system, she found it under the TA line item and not under Jeff's line item. She knew that it would eventually end up under Jeff's line item, but she wasn't certain why it started in the TA's office. But anyway, we have an account number, we know where the money is, and there's a procedure. So it's pretty straightforward the way she explained it to me. So.
Do we have to have a treasurer, or is Jeff going to handle all that?
We don't have to have a treasurer because
We're not controlling.
theoretically not under our roof. Right?
Okay. So then as far as some of the things that I know right off the bat would be helpful is like when we were out there at National Night Out, you know, we could use tablecloth, something to store all the stuff that we have and that we're gathering.
Some kind of a banner in front of us,
Yep.
or a tent,
Yes.
so we can have our own little place instead of being in group with 25 other people.
I know.
And that's a conversation, Evan's been out sick, and it was a conversation I wanted to have with Evan, was that, I mean, $2,000 is not a lot of money.
No.
Right.
And if we buy 2 flagpoles, it's gone like
Gone.
that.
Yeah.
So
The flagpoles are gonna be purchased by Darrell.
Okay.
They are not coming out of our money.
Okay, so if we purchase something just shy of $2,000, the question then becomes, with all of the great ideas that we tend to come up with, how do we fund the great ideas? And there's a new set of procedures that we have to set up to say, do we come to the TA's office, do we go through Jeff? That part still has to be tackled, but when he comes back from his illness, I'll track it down and find out.
Is there any possibility of fundraising within the group?
We're a government committee for the town of Grafton, so I don't think we're
Okay,
allowed to
okay.
fundraise.
I didn't know.
There's gift, somebody asked a question the other
Yeah,
day
there's a-
about gifts.
gifts.
Gifts can
Yes,
be given
yes.
and received.
Yes.
But we can't fundraise.
One of the groups in town, Boy Scouts, they do a can drive every year. And they gave to the soldiers and sailors, while I was in it, $190 and change from one of their things. And when they were thinking about getting rid of it and found out that they couldn't because it's state mandated, they said, well, you never had any money, but the $190 is driving us nuts. What the hell is it? And I said, that's a gift from the Boy Scouts to us, to be spent any way we want to spend it. So there is a gift account associated with soldiers and sailors already. Can we establish one, or should we establish one?
I'll find out.
Okay. Then it's our money.
And then we might need a treasurer.
I thought the Veterans, VSO had his own budget.
He does.
He does.
Okay, so.
He has a couple.
Okay.
He has the one for what he does, but then he also gets some state money, I believe, that
Mhm.
he,
Because he's got 4 groups, it's a
yeah,
conglomerate.
because he's used that money, well, Justin Souza used that money to purchase the flags for Memorial Day. So
Yeah.
I know it was a separate account
Right.
from what he
Mhm.
also has.
Right. So that's why I was kind of wondering why our line money would go to the VSO's account or his, onto his line, I'm not sure.
That's why he established it. They said, you know, under soldiers and sailors, I never had a budget, not one dime.
Mhm.
Always came through Justin's budget, Justin,
Okay, well,
Sousa's.
I mean, the three are all essentially one and the same. So I don't have a problem with it, I was just wondering.
I mean, based off of our last meeting's conversation about this, I think it makes it easier for us
Oh, yeah, yeah, 'cause we
we don't have to do the paper, we
Right.
don't.
exactly.
So
I
I'm
agree.
happy with that.
Yeah,
But I just wanna know, the flagpoles are a good example, because you're gonna go out and get an invoice and things like that, but some of the cheaper things, like he has that little Pelican case to carry everything, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's $30 maybe.
Yeah.
So how do we spend that as well? And,
well, if you, I may misspeak, but if you go through an approved vendor, for example, Colony, some company stuff, if they're an approved vendor that the town is dealing with, I think you just say, okay, I wanna buy this item,
Yeah.
this is the amount.
Right.
And as you said, you get either, we'll call it a purchase order or a quote, and then you just submit that and say, this is what we're gonna buy. Or if it's an approved vendor, we can just buy it and then send in the invoice. So, I believe that's how it would work.
Us being a separate entity under the TA and under
Yeah.
the selectmen, we, I believe, can use the town's tax number. We don't get taxed on any purchase we make.
Yeah,
Make sure it carries over to us. Can we
right,
do that?
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, because I just purchased something today, and that's exactly, you have to submit
Yep.
a document, which is the accounting department forwards to
W2 or
you.
something that.
It looks like, yeah,
Yeah.
and then once you send it up, you're all set. The question I have is, if we wanted to purchase the Jim Gallagher plaque, or if we wanted to purchase wreaths for the headstones,
mm-hmm,
because that came up in conversation the other night, I want to find out, do we start with Evan, or do we start with the select board? Because I don't want to do it the wrong way. I don't want Evan to say, well, you didn't come to me first, you're supposed to come to me first. You know, I just don't know which direction we're supposed
Chain
to.
of command you have to go.
If we're gonna go put our hand out, who do we ask first? You
But
know?
is this if we run out of money or we're?
No, just some, you know,
In
we had the
general.
idea, let's put new wreaths out this year
Right.
on the memorials, okay,
Right.
but we don't have any money, we've spent
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
What do we do?
yeah. I didn't know if you meant like, hey, we've got $2,000 right now, before we go spend it, we have to go get additional permission.
And
So
if you wanted to buy a Pelican case for $30 to put documents in,
Mhm.
are we allowed to go to Walmart and say, hey,
Yeah.
would you
that's-
like to donate us a Pelican? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are, you know, so
Yeah.
how do we figure all those little
Right.
intricacies out?
Yeah,
Is that like per fiscal year too, so you like funded at the
Yeah,
beginning?
fiscal
Yeah.
year is July, right?
yeah. Mhm.
So, I took a note here that I think for our next meeting, I'll do an attachment of some of the things that I thought about, that I wrote down while we were out there at National Night Out,
Mhm.
based off the conversations we were having. If y'all have some ideas of things that we wanna spend some money on, let's go ahead and get those ideas down right now.
Mhm.
So then that way we can at least list it out. I'm not saying we're gonna go buy it all right now, but
Right,
we'll know. Andy, your card's there,
Yep.
you know, let's talk about that.
Yep, that's what I
And-
borrowed.
If we have prices, then that'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be good too.
Because I mean, the banners that Andy's talking about, and flyers that you give out on National Night Out, any paraphernalia, again, if we approach a vendor, are we allowed to solicit a donation? Are we allowed to solicit, you know, a discount because it's going to Veteran Services? And like I say, I just don't wanna step on somebody's toes right out of the gate. I wanna go before we start the process.
Yeah,
well, we've already been there, because when I went to Sunshine Sign and asked them to make up the posters,
Right.
she basically just said, here you go, and if you need it, here's an invoice for tax reasons.
And everybody knows we did it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm assuming everybody knows we did it. I'm
Yeah.
assuming everybody
Well,
knows
now
we did it.
everybody
Right,
knows
now
you
they
did
do.
it.
All right, so here's what we did. And there hasn't been any pushback, there hasn't been any, you know, so
No.
maybe that is the procedure, maybe you just go and ask, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It would still be nice to ask, cause I think, you know, one
I'd like to
time
know.
we can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
I'd
can,
like that get out of jail free card and
Can
in his
we
pocket.
Yeah.
set it, we're gonna?
yeah, right,
Yeah.
you know,
So, talking about the wreaths, that purchase there, I think that conversation should be part of the agenda for a meeting with the post
Yep.
commanders also, so.
but that'll be the trustees meeting.
Mhm.
So our next trustees
Okay.
meeting, we'll do that. I just wanna keep them
Yeah.
separated
Oh, that-
right now with the
I agree.
agenda and,
Okay, sure.
with the overlap, so,
Mhm.
but yes, you're
Okay.
right.
We're trying to help veterans
So,
all the way around.
One second.
Okay, we're trying to help veterans all the way around, and one of these wreaths here is a great idea because they have to send somebody back to the prior place where they put all the wreaths to grab them, and hope
Right.
he can catch up to the parade for the next time when they have to place them.
Yeah,
So it's gonna help them, perhaps we can ask the posts to kick in a little bit.
yep, I agree. What did you have, Holly?
sorry for
No, you're fine.
overstepping, but just a question that came up. I know vendors can be very generous and provide a donation and not request any type of like receipt or anything, but I don't, if Bob's already in discussion with the town on this, I know some vendors would request like a form usually filled out with the federal tax ID to claim like the donation, so I don't know if that's allowed. That's just a question that came to my head that we may need to clarify that with the town. If we
Yeah.
would have to, if that's a showstopper.
Yeah, any of those documents I can get from the finance director, so.
I think if you can get those and we can just scan them and have them electronically, then that way, if anybody needs them,
Right.
we
Yeah.
can share it.
Yeah, but I like Holly's idea. I think if we had a letter from the TA or a letter from the select board saying, please give your support to this committee.
Yes, and list the committee, so basically it's not just you personally.
Excuse me, right.
That actually did happen when we were doing the National Night Out, and went to Stop and Shop and Market Basket
Yep.
about beverages. They did ask for a letter of some sort, so.
Okay. Anything else?
And silent, you got anything?
I'm just taking it all in.
Yeah, yeah. First meeting, welcome, fire hose. Okay, there's nothing else, then we'll move on to the next item, which is the DAV letters. So just a recap of this, the DAV sent me a list of, I think it was like 26 people that they had the addresses that lived in Grafton. I looked at the list that we had already sent out and came up with 13 people that we hadn't contacted or heard back from our initial send out. So put some letters together. Were you able to get those mailed out, or?
The day you dropped them off to me, I brought them up to the clerk's office and they processed.
Perfect, so those letters are out, so we'll see if they respond back to us, and we'll add them to our list. I plan on tomorrow, I know you sent a little bit of information earlier this week, some veteran,
On the on the Facebook page?
no, there was something else that you sent me. I can't remember right now, some kind of veteran get-together or something like that. I'm
Oh, yeah,
going to send that out.
yeah, anything, I receive a lot of, and I think it's random, I don't think it's targeted to me, but I receive a lot of press release type stuff because it's television. And so when it comes through for veterans, I'm just forwarding it right to you, so.
So I need to send that out, and I think I'm also, I can't remember if I sent out your card and thing electronically.
Yeah, this is the final one. This has the correct phone number on it. And I've been visiting with community care at Jamaica Plains Lake VA Medical Center at West Roxbury, and also have a commitment with community care at Leeds, Northampton. And they're telling me, why the hell can't we do this?
Right.
And I'm saying, why can't you? Because that's why I did it, so you'll have something to go on. This equates to 4.5 pages under VA.gov of reading. And it's so simple, you carry a little card around in your wallet, and it gives you all of that.
Yep.
So now you don't have to, if you're gonna have an emergency, stop and say, oh, I gotta look at VA.gov and see what I can do. It's here, take it out of your wallet and use it.
Yeah, no, I agree, it's great.
And they said, you know, we're thinking about doing exactly what you're doing,
Yeah.
okay?
So I want to send it out electronically, because I can't remember if I sent it out when you gave it to me electronically.
But
So,
we have to show it somehow so it's both sides of the card.
yeah, I can scan all that stuff on my computer and send it out, and then I'll just put your little notes section there too, so.
I did what, on this note, just like, and I'll shut up here. I did check with Staples with regard to making these things instead of me printing them. And for me to print them, they're $5.42 to buy the hard start. And I just throw my own printing in, I don't care, okay? But if I'm gonna make a lot of these things, like 1,000, I check with them and say, how, if you guys print these things, what's the deal? So $5.42 per 100 that I would do, I need 10 to get 10 of those things, 542 to get 1,000, that's 54.20. I can go to Staples and have 1,000 printed for me in the format that's there for $39 and change. So it's cheaper to go that way.
Yeah.
And it's a quality card, and edges around, it's more professional looking, you know, this is just my attempt at a business card. The fact that it's hard card, you can write on it, it's not gonna disintegrate if you leave it in your wallet more than a week. Okay? So,
Okay. Any other questions, comments on the DAV letters?
I got one.
Yep.
We cannot look at the current census,
Right.
okay? Because the only column on that census that's confidential is the fact that you're a veteran. Now, can you believe that? I do, I've seen it. You can't get it. I tried to get the list so I could send letters to all the veterans in town. We can look at, however, 20 years back. Now, in 20 years, a lot of people die. But with stuff that I have, vetting people for this new plaque and all this other stuff, I got some pretty cool stuff I can throw names into. And if they're still alive, I'll give you their addresses.
Okay.
All right? I want to get all these quotes in and all that and other stuff, so I get a little bit of time to play.
Right.
But I want to do that for us, so that we can at least try to catch up to some people
Yeah.
that I don't know how else to catch them.
And I wondered that if it would be worth maybe next year going back and trying to send out another round of letters to people.
Yeah.
It's, It is a
give you
pain.
I give you a better list, and you won't end up with, a return service requested and that kind of stuff, or return postage, because they couldn't deliver it.
Yeah. Well, we just had, we had Justin Souza work with the, what was it, Jeff?
Tell the story first and then
Yeah. Well, we got so the VSO can get the current census.
Mm,
So he got the census for us. We did the letters, printed out all the letters, and got the senior center to stuff the letters. No, we got the Boy Scouts to stuff the letters
Yeah.
for us, and then the senior center wrote all the addresses in for us.
okay.
Because we can't have it, but you can have volunteers that
Mm-hmm.
can get that information.
Ah, okay.
And that's how we sent it out.
Okay.
It is a lot of moving parts. It took us like 6 months to figure
Yeah,
that out.
Yeah,
But it worked, and I think if we can get some, we get some more professional cards that we can send out saying, hey, here's our Facebook page and all this stuff, we get that information, it'd be worth sending it out again. We would need to, I would want to narrow it down from the people that we already have on our list, but I think it would be worth another shot.
and the VA clinics want to have these in the clinics, to hand out to veterans that are in, VA healthcare.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Cool.
it's big in the breadbasket. I was thinking locally for our veterans, but this could go, this should go national.
yeah,
Okay.
awesome. Anything else? No. All right. The next thing is the Jim Gallagher Memorial Event. Bob, do you have any
Yep,
updates?
so, I reached out to Sean, and Sean contacted the family, because he's a neighbor, and, they were enthusiastically in favor of the project, and, they were happy that, we had thought to do it. And so, all we need to do now is just determine a timeline, and I think in conversations we'd had in the past, that we talked about somewhere in the October, early November timeframe, next year, we might get people to
Mhm.
participate. It'll be cool weather,
Yeah.
and we can check with the town's recreation department and look at the local calendar and figure out whether or not we're gonna bump headlong into
Mhm.
something, And if there's an event in Worcester, it's no big deal. We're just worried about not conflicting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so we'll go forward with it. I think when we're ready to start planning it, we will go before select board and let them know, and then ask for their support. I mean, at least they'll announce it, when
Yeah.
they start a meeting, and,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll pull it off and see what happens.
Okay. So we talked about it being, and this is just for Mike and some of the other people that maybe don't remember from the last meeting. It's gonna be a walk or run,
A walk over run,
a 5K,
5K roughly, yeah,
not a competition
right?
as of yet.
Just
I
a
mean, that-
friendly get-together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And did we decide on a place?
So I walked the entire campus, started here, and went down to the high school, behind the high school property, down past the athletic field, and then looped around up to the municipal center, and around the horseshoe pin, went down the hill by the police station, and came back to here. And it was just about 3/4 of a mile, so 4 laps of that circuit would give us the 3-mile total.
Okay.
We're not on the streets. We probably still would need some kind of a detail somewhere,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, but we won't be on the streets, we won't be tying up roads or traffic, which will make the chief happy. And any celebration or any fanfare can take place right outside in front of the parking lot, because
Yeah.
people can park at the high school, they can park at the
Yeah.
municipal center. Kind of like the whole concept of National Night Out, we've got this whole area right out front, and we'll
Yeah.
just take it over.
You're looking at, what, it's Saturday or something? or-
Yeah, probably a Saturday morning, yeah.
So based off of our 4th of July stuff, the moment we have a date, we'll need to let chief know.
Mhm. Yep.
And then, and then also the fire chief, because we may need to have.
We
medical
probably need
services.
police detail, fire detail,
Yeah.
EMS, yeah.
Then, you plan on soliciting volunteers?
I would like to get volunteers. I had also thought about asking, I know Holly had mentioned once before that she thought it would be a great project for the scouts to participate in.
Yeah.
Not just helping, but to actually walk the event. Did I have that right, Holly?
You do now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a great opportunity, but just to highlight, if we do it in October, the Haunted Hayride, the 20th and the 21st. And then, so I know a lot of the scouts are helping with that event, so they're gonna be out that whole week plus that weekend.
Okay,
Just a disclaimer.
Good to know. Okay, good.
And then the high school will be in, so we can also reach out to Phil, because, you know, he knows people there, and then he can also help us.
Right. And then I would reach out to the people I know in the Go Ruck community locally and ask them if they would wanna come and ruck the event. So,
Is Grafton football done in October?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
No,
No, we may bump up against maybe
We put up the
homecoming.
thing,
All
go
weekend.
up against a date that they're playing away, that'd be better.
We'll check out the town calendar and
Yeah.
figure it all out.
Yeah. And then, with his connection with the Little League teams, might be worth seeing
Mhm.
if they wanna,
Yep, see if they wanna participate.
yeah.
Grafton EMS, there's a group here, EMS management or whatever, that they could be, have a station for anybody that needed Band-Aids or whatever on the route.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be some,
There's always something.
there's always something, but they could have station, and make a couple of stations on either side of the route.
Grafton Emergency Management.
Yes,
that's what-
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then the last thing that I can think of is advertising, because we know how great. Doesn't matter where you put it, somebody is not gonna see it.
Yeah.
So it might be worth, working with the EDC, and I know I say this every year, but working with the EDC to see if they'd help us advertise it, whether it's putting some flyers out and stuff like that.
Well, I think the people that we contact every year for support when we do the 4th of July parade would be the same people we reach out to and ask for their support. And I know I've said this before, Carl Moisen is a
Yeah.
former Marine, so we would definitely ask him and see what he says. And I think that, I think people would be more than willing to step up and help out, so.
Mhm.
If we had some signage, people that are going to help us out, we could ask them if they wanna put a sign in their window and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's a simple piece of paper, and,
yeah.
Yeah.
but we've gotta remember to go back and pick it up afterwards.
Pick them up, yeah, well, those plastic lawn signs that
Right,
people
right.
use, yeah.
And if we put out, we gotta take back.
Yeah, well, and, you know, like what we did with the parade banner, we can always just, if we decide to do this annually, we just do it generic,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and then you put it out.
You mentioned lawn signs, the plastic ones that put the
Yeah.
stake. So if we get some of those and we put Jim Gallagher 5K and the date, and we can put them around town.
Yeah.
Then you grab them, say the night before or whatever, and you use them as
Directions from.
signage on the route
Mm.
to say, go this way.
Mm.
So it's a two,
Yeah.
a win-win type thing.
Well, the last event that took place, I took part in over at the Collins Foundation up in Stowe, they used those little insecticide flags to mark the route. You know, they're only about that
Yeah,
long.
Yeah.
little flags.
But it worked, 'cause
Yeah.
they're bright orange. And so
Yeah.
I don't know which one is more expensive, but
Yeah.
DPW comes. Those are cheap.
there's a lot, that's a lot of cones.
There's a lot of cones.
And they get heavy after a little while.
Really?
Well, after you pick up, yeah, if you pick up, 15, 20 of them, I'd rather block people, just stick a, put a
That
stick
timber
in
is
it.
usually cool, so if anyone wants to donate water or,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So folks, if you need help with cones, I'm actually doing the parking detail with Haunted Hayride. Happy to help like with any layout cone, setup, because I have to request cones and the barriers for that event, so happy to reach out if it helps.
Sounds good, appreciate the help, thank you. Anything else? I know we're really far out, but it's all about just talking through these
It
things.
goes quick.
It does,
Oh, yes, it does.
it does, and advertising is always the worst thing, so we'll just need to make sure, we spread it, maybe Holly get it out to the Boy Scouts, see if the high school or the schools will spread it for us, I think we're just gonna have to, we're gonna be a little bit more, open with our advertising
The schools,
versus the parade.
schools do have a parent's memo that goes out every day, okay? Every school gets it,
Yep,
and it's a good, that's a quick way to get to about 2,000 kids.
yeah. All right. Next item on the agenda is Veterans Day events. This was really just in coordination with talking with the local, the Legion, the VFW, to see what all they had going on, and the churches as well. So now the Veterans Day is right around the corner. Has anybody heard about something that's going on? I know the VFW is gonna do their thing.
VFW every year, November 11th, 11th day of month, 11th month, 11th day, 11 o'clock, has a ceremony they run at either Post 1497 VFW of South Grafton or at Post 92 American Legion up here, alternate years. Okay, sometimes they'll throw a flag burning or something in on it, to just make it a little longer. And sometimes depending on the weather and everything else, if it's pouring rain, they wanna go quick. If it's sunny, nice day, again, they might wanna go quick, who knows?
Yeah.
But they have a readings like similar to what you do for Memorial Day at the Common. Then they call an honor roll, and then they drop the flag and they raise the flag, play the national anthem, and thank everybody for coming. Okay, it's pretty concise, it's the same thing every year, and nobody comes. I mean, nobody. Last year I invited the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and everybody else, we had a tremendous showing, it was wonderful. It was nice to look out, turn around and see that people were behind us, watching. Selectmen? Yeah. You know, do we have to invite them personally, send a personal letter to each one and say, hey, this happens every year at the same time, this is why, okay?
I'm a proponent of asking people to come and do something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We actually got a lot of select board members in the parade
Dave
this year.
Moradian's
We
there
did that.
every year without an invitation. We've invited Michael Moore, the senator. Well, he has his own stuff over in Millbury, and so he never comes here. I'd like to see him do a round robin. If he's got 3 or 4 or 5 towns, come to each town on different years, eventually come back to Millbury. But then he's showing support to everybody, okay? I think David has finally realized that he has to be here,
Yeah.
you know?
And this year it's over here.
Yeah,
I
it
believe
was
so.
at the
Yeah.
VFW last year.
Right. So,
Sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
Holly, have you heard anything about the churches?
I have not, and I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm trying to get a hold of Joan for the next food drive. I know it's not a specific item, but I'm gonna reach out again, and I can follow up if that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
We have asked, in the past for Memorial Day, Catholic Mass at St. Philip's Church, St. Philip's Cemetery on Memorial Day mornings, 9 o'clock. Okay, so while everything is going around, everybody's going out to different cemeteries and doing their thing before the final thing out to the common. They have a Mass at St. Philip's, it's run every year. I'm wondering if perhaps we couldn't do something similar with a Baptist or congregation or somebody else to get something going, religious piece of this thing for Veterans Day. Maybe something at the common, or I don't know, but
Yeah.
think about it.
No, I think it's good for this year. This year, what we, the problem that we had was last year the church decided to do something at the same time as the VFW. So this year I just wanted to deconflict
Yeah.
and maybe get the select board and stuff. And then next year we can plan, I like the idea of maybe some kind of church thing out at the common.
Yeah. Well, our date has to be November 11th.
Yeah.
Okay, we cannot change the date, we cannot change the time. That's when the armistice was declared, okay? Anybody else that's gonna conflict with us, we'd like to probably ask them not to for at least till noontime.
Yep, I
you know?
agree.
So that gives our people, our townspeople a chance to come and participate.
Yeah. Something neat that my company does during Veterans Day is they do, like the veterans do the flag raising ceremony. Have all members of the company come out, we have formation, you know, all veteran services have formation and all that kind of agenda, so I don't know how that would work here, if you could do
Yeah.
something like that
We
here.
could ask the churches to ring a bell at noon time or 11 o'clock. Okay, a lot of them are electronic, they're on a timer, so you ring ding, ding, ring your bells at 11 o'clock as a commemoration. Okay, that would be one thing, and it didn't cost anybody anything.
I do know that last year at St. Mary's Church, they did a Veterans Mass.
Yes,
Okay.
was it on the 11th though? I
It
don't
was
know.
not on the 11th, so
That was on Sunday.
it was a Sunday, and I don't recall if it was before or after the 11th. However, if we can get, as you said,
Yeah.
ask the churches to do something, if they do it prior to, and this is in their bulletin, that's one more way of getting the date in front of people's, you know,
Correct.
in people's
Correct.
minds.
There's another place to advertise your run also in the
Yeah,
churches.
so I would, when we talk to the churches, ask them if they're going to do anything, if they can do it, say, the weekend prior, because this year, it's on a Thursday, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's on a Thursday, so if they do it, you know, Saturday Mass, Sunday Mass, whatever, so that gives people a little bit of heads up that, you know, the event is coming.
yeah,
Keeps, again, keep advertising, we'll call it that,
right.
so.
Word of mouth
Well-
advertise is the best way, because then they get the whole message.
Yeah. But you brought up something interesting. So we've been focusing with Joan on the Catholic churches, but
Uh-huh.
there's a Baptist church
The
too,
Congregational
right?
church,
Yeah.
right on the common.
So do we know anybody there with them that we maybe need to also start reaching out with? Do we have a point of contact?
When I was walking around handing out flyers for our meet and greet we were doing,
Mhm.
I just walked in the door and the folks at the common were very receptive,
Yeah.
said, hey, yeah, whatever you want. type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So, yeah,
I didn't know if that's what
No,
we
I
need to
don't-
do, or if there's somebody we can call or email.
I think initially we just walk in the door.
Yeah, okay. Because the Congregational Church, I use their parade, their parking lot every year for the parade, and
Yeah.
they're always very nice and they're
Yeah.
appreciative, so, because we're the only ones that.
So I have a contact with St. Mary's because they send me the weekend mass for broadcasting.
Yeah.
And I have a contact at Unitarian Universalist because the same reason.
So I got a contact at St. James,
So, and we
so
can,
that's one. I mean,
Okay.
that's still Catholic,
Okay.
but,
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think let's pull together our
Mhm.
contacts. We need to actually have somebody walk in.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the names of the contacts with a phone number or an email
Yeah.
address or Facebook or something that we can, so we don't have to go knock on the door all the time.
Yeah, that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
And then we can just, and we'll just put it together. I'm all about lists, you know, put it together, we pull it out and say, here's our Veterans Day
Yeah.
contact stuff.
Mhm.
And then, once we have that information, we can talk with them about next year, hey, can we actually do something? Let's kind of roll this all together and work with the Legion and the VFW maybe.
You're talking Veterans Day, but I want to go one step a little further, and it's already gone by this year, but it'll be the same thing next year. June 14th, Flag Day. We used to do something, we used to have a band or something, whatever, down at the New Park in South Grafton. Since Philadelphia died and that committee is kind of folded, nothing's been done on Flag Day, and it should be. It's something you can't forget. It's not a official holiday or anything, but it has its own meaning, similar to Memorial Day, 4th of July, and everything else. It's something the town, I think, has forgotten. I think we should, as a group, think about it too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's June 14th.
June 14th.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's again every year, June
Yeah.
14th.
Mhm.
VFW American League used to come out with their firing squad and their, everybody dressed in uniform and we had a ceremony in front of the flags and that kind of stuff. But then they had a concert afterwards, you know? And we had the people from Blacksmore Valley community come down, it was like $500, and they played for 3 hours.
Nice.
Okay?
Okay.
So, I mean, it's cheap money and it's a nice event.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Maybe waiting for people to retire their old flags too.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
we have in both coasts, an old mailbox,
Okay.
and we have, that's another thing we probably could help them with. okay? I mean, it's not on your agenda, I just wanna take 2 minutes to discuss it. Somebody helped us out and gave us 4 or 5 huge plastic bags full of retired flags. Now, every year we burn probably 100, 150 that people bring and put in our mailbox. We take the sticks off them, we ceremonially burn them, and as it's required. It's a nice clean way to do it, and it's accepted. But we can't possibly think about burning 2,000 or 3,000 of these things. Veterans are getting old. We are too. I am, but you guys aren't. Not as old. But they need help.
Yeah.
Boy Scouts say, yeah, you know, Girl Scouts, you know, but I mean, they're burning stuff, and you don't want to burn kids. So it's gotta be an adult thing. I think we're all adults. We could probably, ask them when they wanna do it and give them a hand,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
So I mean, that's another thing we can do as a Veterans Advisory,
Mhm.
and help them out, not direct them, but help them out.
Okay.
I'll shut up now.
Ollie, do you have something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I apologize for taking a step back, but I realized, thinking about it and the scout schedule and stuff, the Veterans Day, are we doing the observation day on Friday or the actual November 11th on Saturday, just to get clear in my head, over?
It says on the calendar.
Meaning, when does, the VFW do are they doing it on Friday or
They
Saturday
do it
this year?
on the
Just
11th.
'cause-
Whatever the
They
11th
do it
is.
on the 11th.
For
Okay,
for
sorry,
day
I
off, for
missed
day
that.
off
Thank you.
purposes, they're doing Friday, but for, yeah, the ceremonies is the 11th.
All right. Anything else about Veterans Day events? I think we're off to a good start. I think let's, start reaching out and getting these things together, let's get them aligned, and then we can go from there.
Over here it is. If you wanna pass that around for a few seconds, I mean, after the meeting, people
Yeah.
take a look at it. And, like I said, very quickly, it's, about 4 pages of gobbledygook on VA.gov. That makes it very nice and easy for people to have these cards in their wallet. Realize if they have an emergency, that if they notify VA within 72 hours, VA will pick up the tab, all the tab. If you have something like dialysis and you're going in for treatments all the time, and all the time there's some little thing that sends you to the emergency room, okay? After a while, your insurance company's gonna either lose you, or you're gonna get a premium that's 3 times the size of what you're paying now. If you can continue to do it, VA picks up the tab. I mean, it's a nice program.
Yeah.
But nobody knows about it unless you know about VA.gov. And if you don't have a computer, you don't know.
Yeah.
And that too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Last thing is, anything else? Any other items that people want to bring up?
Speaking of Memorial Day, we put out flags. Do we take them down for the winter?
No, we take them
No.
down and destroy them. We, all the time, we took them down, just took them off the grave and put them in the burn barrel to destroy. Last 2 or 3 years, they've taken them all in, and those that could be saved,
Yeah.
salvaged,
Yeah.
we salvaged.
Good.
We had an awful time finding a place to put them, because the town was very, very cheap on giving us a place to put them. I didn't want them in my garage, and neither did a whole bunch of other guys. We only have so much space at the VFW, and they have the same problem over here at American Legion. Where do we put them? Okay, so they don't get destroyed, and you roll them all up, and you keep the mice out of them and everything else, and use them again in the spring.
Right.
Storage here, we got an
Yeah.
attic and a mezzanine.
Well, we've got, I don't know what Parks and Rec has, but we've got a brand new DPW barn.
Okay?
Maybe. I mean, how much space could, I'm, in a personal garage, there might take up a
Right.
good space. But in
We
a big garage,
We
how much
put
space?
out, we used to put out about 700 flags, we put out 1,900 now,
Yeah,
okay?
Mhm.
And maybe 300 are reusable, so it's
Mhm.
not a lot of storage. And,
Right.
and the town, that's 300 flags, the town doesn't have to buy it spring,
right, yep.
okay? But there's a problem this year. the town just bought a leaf blower, okay? And this thing can blow flags right out of the holders.
Yeah.
So I wanted Darryl to come and explain this. He's asking us, the veterans, for permission to take the flags out of the holders while they do this leaf blowing, okay? If he's gonna do it after November 11th, it's fine. If he's gonna want to start early and start doing before November 11th, I don't think our flag, now we've had a very rainy year, so the flags may be swelled enough so they don't blow out of the holders, but it might pull the holders right out of the ground. If the holders aren't deep enough ground. We generally put them down about 6 inches.
Yeah.
Okay? If we put them down, if we walked around every cemetery and put everyone down about 8 inches, it might behoove us, we might be able to say, yeah, you can do all leaf blowing you want, the flags are fine.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then he says he wants them before they start their leaf blowing.
Okay.
But that's between Darryl and the post commanders and the veterans. We can make our suggestions, but it has to be
Yeah.
those guys. And the ones that take the flags out every year are the people working in the cemeteries, not us, not the veterans, okay? My wife and I and a group of 6 other people, we put the flags at St. Philip Cemetery
Mhm.
every year, and every year we go out and take them off, okay? The veterans never do it. If we have all kinds of people helping, you guys helped for Memorial Day to put all this stuff out, great, we had a great time and everybody did it, and it was the best, probably the
Yeah.
best year we've ever had putting them out. But they stay in the holders until the town decides to pull them out. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I have people that'll help, my people that put flags in will help you take them out, but we got to get the veterans to do it too. It
Okay.
can't just be us. I think that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other thing? Anything else? Sorry.
We're gonna buy some Tupperware to store flags.
By the quarter. Oh, well, that's fine. Send it to me if that's what you want.
Something the mice can't get into, because it's one thing to separate them on and roll them up and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But if something gets into them in the meantime, you still buy new ones.
I mean, not,
But the thing is, you gotta know by January that they're in good shape,
yeah,
okay?
Mhm.
'Cause that's when I order the new ones.
Well, not to prolong this whole thing, but another thought, if we do take them out, it might be a goodwill gesture to maybe we give away the used ones and we buy new ones, rather than guessing how many are gonna be salvageable. You know, we have an event, maybe this walk, or
Well-
something like that, at the walk, hand them out to people. 'Cause, National Night Out, wasn't someone giving out
Little ones, yeah.
Yeah, so something on that idea, might be a goodwill gesture, you know, for people, you know, or maybe 4th of July. I don't know,
That's actually
something
the
to that
parade, because I have a lot of kids asking for flags, and if
Okay.
we, you know,
Yeah,
that's something that a memorial event, I wouldn't wanna give away, you know, if they're kinda raggedy, I wouldn't wanna give
Yeah.
away raggedy
Yeah.
flags.
Yeah.
But if you had these older flags, right,
that's
and you
true.
just put them out in the comments, it's
Mhm.
like, hey, feel free to take a flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, it doesn't care,
Yeah.
and it's decoration, so
Okay.
that would actually work.
Sure.
I'm gonna hold
Yeah.
you, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
hold you to
they
that, now
have
we
a
need to solve
second, they
this.
have a second life if you can sort them,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay?
Okay.
I hate throwing stuff away that's still
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
and that's a perfect idea.
anything else?
Just talking to you.
I am talking to you, I'm looking directly at you, Sean, while you write.
what? Sorry. You
Anything
said talking,
else?
I think, when you said talking to you, I thought you were talking, forget it, oh, you guys. Oh, that's why I'm
No, I was
here.
asking if you had anything else.
I'm done, thank you.
All right, Bob, anything? Holly?
I guess not.
No. Perfect, I hope not, she's driving.
No, but I just got in driveway, I'm sorry.
No
I'm good.
worries, no worries.
Sorry.
All right, if there's nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All right, we'll do a roll call vote to adjourn. Holly?
I
Aye.
Andy?
Andy.
Bob?
Aye.
And Sean?
Justin, aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.